Hello class! Today we are going to have a look at Hulkbuster Iron Man from the Iron Man 2 comic series. It's one of the 3 3/4 inch figures. And I had a really hard time finding one of these. I don't know why, it just took a really long time for them to come to the stores, and then I saw one so I had to get it because it's Hulkbuster Iron Man, even though I'm not sure it ever really worked. But anyways, we can have a look. First though, we'll look at the packaging, and there we can see Hulkbuster Iron Man there in the package. And look at that, with figure stand. Now, I mean, to me that's not a big selling point. What that means to me is that there's no stupid gimmick with this figure. And that is excellent, because I don't like those stupid gimmicks. Let's see, he's Hulkbuster Iron Man. Some warnings about probably choking hazards in some language I don't know. And on the back of the card here, we can see some of the other figures that are in this wave or in this line. So there we've got the Hulkbuster Iron Man. We've got Iron Man in one of his older armors. I can't remember. I recognize it, but I can't remember. That would make a good mod for a zombie Iron Man from Marvel Zombies, because that's, I think, the kind of armor he was wearing in that. Anyways, I digress. There we've got Guardsman. We've got another Iron Man, which again, more of the classic look. I'm reminded of when Ron Lim was drawing Iron Man in one of the Infinity Gauntlet series. So maybe, what was that? 80s, 90s. Anyways, we've got Titanium Man. And so we go, the other figures. Have another quick look around, and there he is. And of course, the packaging. We've got the big picture of Iron Man here in what mark? Is that Mark 4, Mark 6? I can't remember anymore. And another warning not to choke on this stuff, just in case you thought about trying. Which I wouldn't recommend doing, that would be silly. But anyways, that's our look at Hulkbuster Iron Man in his packaging. What we're going to do is we're going to open this up and have a closer look at the figure. So, we'll be back in a moment. Hey guys, we are back, and we are still looking at Hulkbuster Iron Man from the Iron Man 2 comic series set of figures. And we can have a closer look at him, just a quick kind of 360 view first so we can get a look all the way around. Big, heavy figure, which is nice. Well, he's not that big. He's, what, about 3 3/4 inches is the scale-ish. But anyways, there he is. Now he's got, you know, I guess I won't say the typical Iron Man colors, but in some respects not entirely. So anyways, the arms, the legs, and the head, I don't know how well the camera is going to pick this up, even though I think you can see it pretty well there now. It's kind of more of a burgundy, dark red, burnt red color, and his torso is more of a bright red. So I'm not quite sure. I don't know if it's just a difference in the plastic or if there was some goof in the dye lot, or I don't know. But so we have two colors, and I don't think it's really supposed to be that way. If we take a look at the card again, that's right, the evil professor bought 2 of these. I know, I'm such a jerk. It looks all like one solid color to me. So maybe it's something in the manufacturing process. Of course, you know, the figures that they put on the back, they're all looking really, really good and touched up properly. So anyways, so there is that. But anyways, the rest of the colors, you know, we've got some gold here on the shoulder plates. He's got still the unibeam kind of doodad here. Kind of a juggernaut style head, but we've got the gold there and little bits of gold again on the arm shields and here on the knees, on his knee pads, I suppose. A few other highlights, some silver here back. I don't know what these are for. Whatever. And we can see some more on his arms and on his, I guess, would be his ribs over here. So there we go. Now, in terms of articulation, probably not as much as some of the other 3 3/4 inch figures. Just because of the, I think, the size and the design of the thing. His head does move, but it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. But we can move that around a little bit. I don't know if it'll go all the way around. Imagine if I reefed on it long enough it would, but I don't really care enough to. Shoulder plates don't move. The arms do go up. Well, they might move, but I'm actually afraid of breaking them, so I'm not going to try. Arm goes up. We do rotate this way. We should go all the way around. We have a ball joint. Maybe it's not, but we have the rotation here at the elbow. It doesn't go all the way around. At least, again, I don't want to reef it and break it, so I'm not gonna. We can bend at the elbow, and then the wrist has a little bit of movement as well. And I believe that's where the extra plate is. So that might make things a little more difficult. Same thing with the other arm. We've got the rotation in the upper torso, or the movement. It doesn't, again, all the way around, I don't know. I don't really want to find out because I have a feeling it'll snap and then it'll be busted. But it does go pretty far, so it may do a 360, but if you want to try it with yours, that's cool. I'm not going to try it with mine. Thank you very much. Hip, we have, goes out. It's on that kind of ball joint that we would expect from Marvel figures. Well, Marvel figures seem to have this ball joint in there for rotating at the hip, moving at the hip. The thigh does rotate all the way around. We've got the double joint in the knee, even though it still doesn't bend that far. And the feet do rotate, but they don't really move up and down. And the other side obviously is going to do the same thing. Not as much articulation as some of the others, and again, it's just due to the sheer voluminous size of this guy. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Hulkbuster was actually an armor for Iron Man, not for Tony Stark, but for Iron Man himself. Like Iron Man crawled into it, it's almost like a mech instead of just an armor suit. But that's okay. Still does look pretty cool. Now, in terms of accessories, if we stand him back here, we have, as with all the other Iron Man figures, or figures from this wave, or series, I guess is a better phrase for it. We have that set of cards that's on the plastic. There's the one cardboard and 3 plastic of some kind that we can use to have a kind of like a paper doll Iron Man, and then we could switch things out and change them around. I don't have any others right now to show the differences, but we get the gist. And it also has a code, which I still don't think actually does anything. If it does, please let me know, because I would... Well, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Who am I kidding? But I still would be interested to know. At any rate. So we have that. And we also, as mentioned on the packaging, we have the figure stand. And we can put the cards back here, just in case we forget who he is. And we can arguably put Hulkbuster Iron Man on this thing. He's got the pegs, or the holes in his heels for the peg over here. And let's see if I can do this, and we can just put him on there. Now, I guess if you kind of want to keep everything similar, you would do that if you had the rest of them on it, but I mean, he barely fits on it. The figure stand is not really meant for a dude this large. And really, of all the figures that come with a stand that don't need it, it's got to be Hulkbuster. He stands up so well on his own. He does not need a figure stand. So there we have him. You know what? I like this figure. I just like the idea of Hulkbuster. As I said, I don't think it actually worked when he used it against Hulk. Did it? Correct me if I'm wrong. I still think he got whipped. But anyways, that seems to be Tony Stark's thing. There's what, Hulkbuster and Thorbuster and probably Galactus Buster and Cheetos Buster and, you know, bottle of Scotch Buster, Iron Man. At any rate. So that's Hulkbuster. As I said, I found it really difficult to find, so when I saw it, I did pick up 2. Oh, there is one other thing I'd like to point out. It seems to be with a lot of the figures of this scale. I find the paint job is sketchy on all of them. I've yet to find one that I didn't kind of cringe at certain points. But I don't know if you can see, there's a little bit of red here on his one shoulder guard, and there's a blotch of silver back here on his head, and the lines for his face aren't done very well. And there's a few other noticeable things like that. And as I said, while I did buy 2 of these things, and you say, did you try to pick the best one? Well, yeah, sorry. I mean, to the person who knows what I'm talking about, sorry about that. But it really was a crapshoot. It's kind of a pick your poison kind of situation. So that's a little disappointing, but otherwise it's not too bad. So if you can find this one, I think he's worth getting. I don't know, it's a big Iron Man that looks like he's going to whip somebody's ass, and I really do like it. So there you have it. I think that's going to be it for our review on Hulkbuster Iron Man. If I was going to give this figure a grade, I would give this figure a B+. Not quite an A. It's not quite one of my favorites up there, but I do have a fondness for it. Maybe it's just because I like the whole idea of the Hulkbuster armor. So I think that just about does it for me. We were having a look at Hulkbuster Iron Man from the Iron Man 2 comic series wave. Thank you very much, and have a good night.